Pero bago ang lahat, hello mga idol, kita-kits na naman tayo dito sa aking channel, GMG Sports TV, ang tambayan ng mga mahihilig sa sports. For the game result for today, the LA Clippers get their second straight win after taking down the Chicago Bulls with a score of 112-102. And the top scorer for Clippers is Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who had 22 and 19 points. Luka Doncic recorded another triple-double performance of 39 points with 10 rebounds and 10 assists, and Kyrie Irving scored 21 points to help the Dallas Mavericks get their second straight win after beating the Detroit Pistons with a score of 142-124. Miles Bridges drops a double-double performance of 24 points with 10 rebounds, and Brandon Miller scored 23 points to giving the Charlotte Hornets a win against Brooklyn Nets with a score of 110-99. The San Antonio Spurs ended their two-game losing streak after winning today against the Golden State Warriors with a score of 126-113. And the top scoring for San Antonio is Jeremy Sochan and Keldon Johnson, who had 20 and 22 points. The Boston Celtics ended their two-game losing streak on the road game after holding off the Phoenix Suns with score 117-107. The top scoring for Boston is Jason Tatum, a double-double performance of 29 points with 10 rebounds, and Jaylen Brown added 27 points. The Denver Nuggets notched their second straight win after taking down the Utah Jazz with a score of 142-121. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic is the top scorer for Nuggets with 37 and 26 points. In the last game, the Portland Trail Blazers ended their three-game losing streak after defeating the Toronto Raptors in overtime with a score of 128-118. DeAndre Ayton and Delano Banton is the leading in scoring for Portland with 30 and 25 points. And here are the Eastern Conference standings updates. The number 15 and number 14 is Washington Wizards, and Detroit Pistons are eliminated for the NBA playoffs. The number 13 in standings is Charlotte Hornets with a record of 16 wins and 48 losses. The number 12 in standings is Toronto Raptors, had 23 wins and 41 losses. Number 11 in standings is Brooklyn Nets, had 25 wins and 39 losses. The number 10 in standings is Atlanta Hawks, had 29 wins and 34 losses. The number 9 in standings is Chicago Bulls, had 31 wins and 33 losses. The number 8 in standings is Indiana Pacers, had 35 wins and 29 losses. The number 7 and the number 6 in standings is Philadelphia 76ers and Miami Heat. Both had a record of 35 wins and 28 losses. The number 5 in standings is Orlando Magic, had 37 wins and 27 losses. The number 4 in standings is New York Knicks, had 37 wins and 26 losses. The number 3 in standings is Milwaukee Bucks, had 41 wins and 23 losses. The number 2 is Cleveland Cavaliers, had 41 wins and 22 losses. And the number 1 in Eastern Conference standings is Boston Celtics with a record of 49 wins and 14 losses. In the Western Conference standings updates, San Antonio Spurs are officially eliminated for the NBA playoffs. The number 14 is Portland Trail Blazers, had 18 wins and 45 losses. The number 13 is Memphis Grizzlies, had 22 wins and 42 losses. The number 12 is Utah Jazz, had 28 wins and 36 losses. The number 11 is Houston Rockets, had 28 wins and 35 losses. The number 10 in standings is Golden State Warriors, had 33 wins and 30 losses. The number 9 in standings is Los Angeles Lakers, had 35 wins and 30 losses. The number 8 in standings is Dallas Mavericks, had 36 wins and 28 losses. The number 7 in standings is Phoenix Suns, had 37 wins and 27 losses. The number 6 in standings is Sacramento Kings, had 36 wins and 26 losses. The number 5 in standings is New Orleans Pelicans, had 38 wins and 25 losses. The number 4 in standings is LA Clippers, had 41 wins and 21 losses. Number 3 and the number 2 in standings is Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves. Both had a record of 44 wins and 20 losses. In the number 1 in Western Conference standings is Oklahoma City Thunder, had 44 wins and 19 losses. And here are the games scheduled for tomorrow, Monday morning, PH time. In the first game, at 3 a.m., LA Clippers take on the Milwaukee Bucks. At 6 a.m. had 4 games schedule: Sacramento Kings vs. Houston Rockets, Atlanta Hawks vs. New Orleans Pelicans, Miami Heat vs. Washington Wizards, and Orlando Magic vs. Indiana Pacers. At 7 a.m. had 3 games schedule: New York Knicks vs. Philadelphia 76ers, Oklahoma City Thunder vs. Memphis Grizzlies, and Cleveland Cavaliers vs. Brooklyn Nets. In the last game, Los